Hey, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We know your time is precious, so let's get you the information you're looking for. A little bit about Founders Boost before we start. It launched back in 2012, and we've been growing across cities over the years. We've been helping pre-seed startups prepare for accelerators, investment, and revenue, or AIR for short. Some of our other program locations include Detroit, LA, New York, Pittsburgh, and we've recently gone into Miami as well. We believe entrepreneurs can really change the world, and as data shows, there's a huge chasm for new startups to get across to avoid becoming another failed startup number. And there's a few reasons for this, from mindset and connections to mentors and access to capital. And that's where Founders Boost comes in, to close that gap and get promising startups towards AIR and long-term economic impact and growth. To say that a pre-accelerator is a lot of work is an understatement. In just 6 weeks, we are going to squeeze you through a quarter of intensive boot camp. And what does this mean? This includes mentorships, workshops, refining your pitch, and pitch deck prep. So whatever you need and wherever you are in your startup life cycle, it's our job as co-directors to support you and surround you with all the resources that you need to move towards your AIR goal. We aim to cater this program around each company, so we try to speak to you as early on as possible so we understand, one, what you're dealing with, what your headaches are, what keeps you up at night, so that come the program, we surround you with all the things you really need and we can help accelerate you as quickly as possible. And if there's one pet peeve I have personally, it's wasting people's time. So here are some of the examples from our spring cohort who graduated a few months ago. And of course, our fall cohort, another example of some of the companies that have gone through this program already in just the initial year. And make no mistake, if there's one thing you get from all this, is that Founders Boost is a mentor-driven pre-accelerator program. We bring amazing professionals across diverse experiences to guide and help founders get unstuck and edging closer past that proverbial startup chasm of death. And a huge thank you to our mentors. This is just a sample of the mentors network we are cultivating to help you grow and accelerate. Now, going more big picture, we've received more than 4,000 applications to date, more than 300 startups accepted into the program, and the combined raise of $85 million across the alumni network. We have a strong and impressive alumni community. You are here to be the right kind of busy, and so are we. For those seeking venture capital, our investment portfolio is diverse across many firms. Interesting to note, we do not have any particular preference towards any one accelerator or the other. In fact, we don't believe venture capital is the right path for everyone, hence our diverse AIR focus. And speaking on diversity, let's pause for a brief moment to bring up an important point. We can't operate in good faith in the capital of inclusive innovation, Washington, D.C., without being hypersensitive to diversity, equity, and inclusion. We are beyond the moon proud of our work to reduce barriers for the new majority, and will continue to do so because as humans, we still have a long ways to go. So we partner with dope organizations to continue the good work, so you are in good company from the start. Now let's break down the programming so you get a better sense of how the 6 weeks actually look like. Each week, we have a deep dive into a topic, and we invite a seasoned expert to go past the basic content fluff in everyday community events for more in-depth discussions and actionable insights that can be quickly applied to your business. We then move over now into pitch coaching. Because the challenge after developing product market fit and scalable processes, it's really to communicate this win over to investors, partners, and others. You get some tough love here, and with a focus on the tough love because we want you to crush your pitch when it really matters, like pitching to a Richard Branson or a Melissa Bradley as some examples. And because every startup has different challenges, we move on now and we finish that 3-hour session with direct one-to-one mentorship for your particular business. The journey is to build a successful business, and it's riddled with growth challenges. So we put you in weekly direct contact to help you get unstuck and ideally moving right along to the next challenge, because they never end. A big question now that many of you might have is, what are we looking for in a business and in your application specifically? So let's go through some of those points. Number one, always is team, team, team. Are you the founder to build this and take it forward? Do you have the grit to push past the ups and downs and the ambiguity and chaos that comes with a business? Are you open to feedback? Do you get stuff done? Do you have a well-balanced team? Are you a mix of technical and business backgrounds? Are you passionate about what you are building and looking to change in the world? So that's what we really, really care about and are looking for. Number two, the next thing is market. Is this the right time? Is there a viable path to grow market share? What's the likelihood of it being successful? An example here, some of you may be scientists who started developing technology in the lab, and it could take, let's say, 15 years of refining that tech in the lab. Now, that might be a little bit too early, but let's have a conversation and figure out where you're at and whether your tech is ready for market and in the program. Third, next thing we really look at is traction. We tell everyone to reach out to us as soon as possible if you're interested, because we want to see you execute over time. What have you accomplished since we last connected, as an example? Put us on your update email so we can see all the things you're accomplishing. You're bringing on a new team member, as an example, or you secured a partner, or you're testing the product in a new pilot, or you generated some revenue. Anything can be traction. It can even be a failure. It can be, we learned this was the wrong approach, and now we're slightly pivoting. Learnings are an exception because it means an advantage over other people. So traction is key. We want to see you can execute, keep us in the loop, and add us to your update emails. We're there to join the ride with you, really, and want to see everything that you're accomplishing. And number four, the last thing we look at is the solution. So obviously, what are you building? We want to know you are going after a significant problem, and keyword on the problem, and that you've developed a solution to that problem. So while startups pivot and iterate a lot, the idea and solution is not nearly as important as the problem that you're going after. So as long as you've been focusing your background, your expertise, investing so much of your energy building this, the solution can pivot, but we just want to see that you're going down the right track. So some common questions, and feel free to put in the chat any questions you have, and we'll answer them in the Q&A later on in the session. So what's our mission or outcomes? So for Founders Boost, this program is diverse in its approach to really help ventures grow and scale. Some go on to apply for an accelerators. Others want to begin the fundraise gauntlet, and others want to go the traditional route through good old-fashioned customer acquisition. There's really no right way here. The path you decide to take is up to you. We'll be here to guide and connect based on what you decide. Another question that's usually asked, what's our method exactly? So we deliver outcomes through 1, mentorship, 2, focus on priorities, and 3, strategic connections to help you grow and accelerate. Another question, what else is there beyond the 6 weeks? You have 2 capstones, Demo Day and Global Investor Day, and access to the community program, which is Founders Boost X. So a little bit about those. First, Demo Day has evolved. It's more than just a capstone milestone. It's more of a celebration now. Investors and other entrepreneurs in the area look forward to our Demo Day to see the rising founders and ventures that DC has to offer. We have investors who we invite to check out the vetted talent and potential deal flow opportunities. Second, through the Founders Boost X community, we host various workshops, optional, of course, because let's be real, you're all busy building your business, but the events are aligned with what our startups need to scale up and apply towards growth and scale efforts. Remember, be the right kind of busy. So we provide focused content, some community group and networking, some mentorship, and of course, exclusive perks and discounts. Now, okay, that's a lot to absorb, and thanks so much for coming to the Ask Me Anything meet and greet. This is actually a really big step because not only are you getting some FaceTime with us, but we're also hopefully getting to know a little bit about you if you're putting some stuff in the questions and want to see what we can offer you. This is the best time to ask questions if you have any, but also for us to get some time with you as well. So let's see if there's any questions in the chat before we move on. I know, is there a cost to this? No, there is no cost. So we take no fees, we take no equity. So this is all free, thanks to generous sponsors from the community, thanks to local partners, and so on. But lastly, let's go through the interview screening with our team before final selections are made. So can I introduce you to us? My name is Steven. I'm one of the directors here for FoundersBoost in Washington, D.C. And wanted to give you a little background because I think it's important if we're going to spend a few weeks together. I see myself as a founder first, mostly in the marketing and future industry space. I've been working to catalyze entrepreneurship ecosystems across 170 countries back in 2016. And now I'm in the US and Colombia focused. Fun fact, my venture capital experience actually began through Next Gen Venture Partners. Back then it was Startup Angels in Washington, DC. My core focus now is helping Black and Brown businesses grow and scale through 1863 Ventures. And I'm doubling down on disruptive innovation in future industries through Swago and Elevate Coalition. As next steps, I'm actually diving down the DAO, or for those who don't know, decentralized autonomous organizations, blockchain, exponential technologies. It's all a rabbit hole, but really I'm aiming for the space industry someday if I can help it. But at the heart of it all, I'm a community builder. So I love catalyzing connections or nodes across different stakeholders to really just accelerate more equitable economic development and wealth generation for all. Some of our other colleagues in the program that you may be working with, Flor Liavano or Jade, again, they have different experiences when it comes to starting a business or operations or processes. So they all are value add to the program and useful as you go through it. Some key dates to keep in mind and details are Spring 2022 program. The application is currently open and they close March 16th. Just know it is a virtual experience again for safety reasons. The program actually runs from April 5th through May 8th, and it's every Tuesday, 6 to 9 p.m. That's part of the reason why we made these sessions, these AMA info sessions at 6 p.m. to kind of get you into the mindset of this is the rhythm, more or less. Now, if you're interested, feel free to reach out. I know we recently closed out our global demo day, and so we're going to show you a little promo video for the next one coming up. Now, just a general warning for people with photosensitive epilepsy, the video we're about to play has displays that flicker, flash, or blink. So we recommend turning away if you need to at this time. Awesome, the video is over, so you can view the screen again if needed. And with that, just know applications opened up January 17th. They're currently open. Apply sooner than later if possible, so we can get to know you more and see your progress for a more holistic understanding of you and your awesome venture. Any questions, feel free to place in the chat. I know we might have two since we're doing YouTube Live and Facebook Live. The fees question already answered, but again, if you're wondering about fees, there is no fee, no equity taken for being part of this program. We just want to help grow and accelerate businesses to be ready for an accelerator, or maybe they want a venture capital raise, or they just want to grow through good old customer acquisition. Another question, how many people are in the program? We focus more on quality, not quantity. So we aim for about 8 to 10 at most. Part of this is, we like to have one-to-one mentorship parity in that sense. So getting mentors is going to be one of our key focuses for this quarter. Also, we've noticed that too many people might be a little too much and overwhelming. So again, we're just going to double down on our sweet spot of 8 to 10 startups, and usually that goes better for all of us all around, and better experience for the participants that go through the program. Any other questions? Again, everything starts April 5th, the official program, and it's for 6 weeks on Tuesdays, 6 to 9 p.m. If you're gonna miss more than one, recommend you check this out at another cohort, maybe later in the spring, fall, or next year. So just keep that in mind. You're gonna get out of this what you put into it. So if you attend all the sessions, you engage with all the mentors and the pitch coaches and the speakers, then you're gonna get the most out of this. If not, then my only question to you is, why even be in the program? So either you commit or may not be worth your time in that sense. Other questions? Global demo day, there's 2 demo days. There's local demo day for the local investors and the local community. And then there's global demo day. And that's more for the global investors and global community, for everyone to see everyone in that sense. So there's usually 2. The process for demo day. The process is not that difficult, although a little tricky at the beginning. Our demo days are pre-recorded, so all of your pitches are pre-recorded in that sense, and then, but you are present for all demo days for Q&A time. And this just makes the tech easier to run when it's virtual, and it helps things speed along. And let's be real, you want to focus on networking and connecting with other potential investors or community members that can be helpful. And the pitch is just one aspect, but it's really about the connections for demo day. That's the most value add in the program. Do we help with venture capital? We help connect you to folks that can help you with venture capital. Technically, we do have a mini fund as well. And so you'll learn more about the mini fund as you go through the program. It is optional, of course. You are able to opt in to be considered to join the fund as being a participant of the start of FoundersBoost. And what that means, they give you a small cash injection as well, for a % equity stake in the company, very small. But again, that's optional if you want to think about the fund. The program itself, the 6 weeks, no equity, no fees. If you're considering the fund, there is that little caveat that it's opt-in in that sense. And then 2, if you opt in and you're considered, then there is an equity exchange for the funding that's provided. So just keep that in mind, and feel free to send any questions over if you want more details on the fund for FoundersBoost. Last minute questions. Okay, no questions anymore. All right, well, thank you so much for joining in. Follow up, send us an email, Washington, D.C. at, should be foundersboost.com, but startupboost.org still works at the moment. I know we went through a recent name change for rebranding purposes. But thank you so much, and look forward to seeing all your applications. Cheers.